So, welcome everybody
to fireworks.
There you go. Anyway, welcome everybody to the first ever in a long time old school PLK. Crime can't be with us. Capone can't be with us.
We kicked them out.
Anyway, I am your host, the soon-to-be WWE wrestler Eddie Lynch, with your co-host, the founder and namer of the podcast Legend Killers, Jordan, the wrestling fanatic. Care to say any
now
words?
Known as Jordan the Chick Magnet.
Fanatic.
Yeah, let's do this, Pat. But seriously, guys, it is me, Jordan the wrestling fanatic, with my co-host Eddie. Y'all know him. He's been holding down the PLK while I've been gone. He's been getting, bringing David, Crime, whoever can do the podcast. So hats off to you, Eddie. And as well as, belated happy birthday, because, your birthday was recent.
I am now 18 for those that are wondering.
As y'all know. And I am now at drinking age. So, yeah, I was tough. Anyway, going to give a rundown on what we're going to be talking about today.
So, sorry.
Go ahead.
So,
no, you go ahead.
Allow me to give the lineup. So we'll do this the old-fashioned way. We talk about total nonstop topics, what's going on in the indie world, and then we get on to everybody's favorites, filthy casuals. We talk about WWE.
Yeah, we don't get the other two topics when Crime and David are on here. yeah, shot fired.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd take it up with them. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to have to fight about that.
Okay, not only will we have that, but for the first time ever, we will be adding a stipulation regarding podcast Legend Killers. So, we'll get into that when we get into the Extreme Rules preview. But for now, let's talk about what is going on with the indie world. Jordan, what you got?
All right, so last week, as most of you don't know, but you should know, we had the highly anticipated Global Wars pay-per-view between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, which happened. It's been happening for at least, I'd say, 2 to 3 years now. The first Global Wars had Kevin Owens, as we indie smarts know him as Kevin Steen. Unrelated, isn't it amazing how these guys were duking it out in ballrooms at Ring of Honor, and now they're both in WWE.
Yeah, that's
most of the people most of my favorite wrestlers from that era, or I should say that time frame in wrestling, are now in the WWE. It's crazy.
That's good. WWE's now entering the Indies era, probably. I don't know what to call it.
Because
it's certainly a new era.
Yeah. Even though people don't want to deny it, you did not expect all these wrestlers to be in the WWE 3 years ago. It just wasn't in your mind.
Yeah, especially not AJ Styles.
Especially not AJ Styles. Especially not Nakamura either.
Well, I wasn't aware of Nakamura at the time, but yeah, I agree with you.
Filthy casual. That's why.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Well, the reason why nobody expected him is for the reason that. All right, so this guy is one of the two people that helped reshape New Japan into what it is today, because he had to completely overhaul his gimmick. He started doing stuff that you normally wouldn't see in New Japan, because his whole his whole flamboyant gimmick, the strong style, that's always been in New Japan.
Oh, okay.
Even in All Japan Pro Wrestling, but his whole style, he's basically, when you look at him, you're this guy looks like a Japanese Michael Jackson. The whole charismatic side. Yeah, flamboyant. You see that in American wrestling all the time, but you really don't see that in Japan, because Japan was always about just go out there and respect, because they look at the sports aspect of pro wrestling more than we do over here. Everything, is starting to shape off into super kicks and high flying action, stuff that jumps out at the crowd.
Super kicks. Lack
Yeah.
of creativity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like a good super kick, but when you oversaturate it like the Usos, I'm gonna get bored.
It's not just the Usos. Let's not throw them just under the bus. Hell, they already get enough heat as it is. No, the Usos, Ziggler, Del Rio, Page sometimes, the list goes on, but
Woods do it like once, and after that, he was like, "No, I don't want to be part of that crowd."
That's good. He actually did it on John Cena, so
Mm-hmm. But back to the topic. Yeah. So it was the Global Wars pay-per-view and then they had the entire the War of the Worlds tour, where for the whole week they had house shows throughout the northeastern part of the United States, where New Japan and Ring of Honor wrestlers, duked it out, and then they had the final War of the Worlds special like pay-per-view for there on their website, and it was a house show, and they had a bunch of good matches. They even got two new members for the Bullet Club, because they're trying to rebuild the Bullet Club for all the wrestlers that they lost. Gallows, Anderson, Balor, and Styles are all in the WWE now.
So who's joined the Bullet Club since
Styles and Anderson and Gallows left?
Yeah.
So last month there was Tongaroa, who most of you know as Camacho in the WWE. He used to team up with.
By the way, he's a second generation wrestler, right?
Mm-hmm. He's the son of the great Haku.
Ooh.
I never knew that until he came to TNA, because they showed a lot of more of his Tongish heritage in TNA. The problem is they didn't push him correctly based on what he could do, and he just ended up being in the background. Okay, so there's Roman Reigns and then Dean Ambrose, and you know how they push Roman Reigns more than they push Dean Ambrose?
Right.
That's what they did with Camacho in TNA. They pushed Drew Galloway when they pushed him, and he just faded into the background, and then they released him.
Ah, okay.
So now he's in New Japan, joined up with his brother Tama Tonga in the Bullet Club. Now their team is called the Gorillas of Destiny. The acronym is God, and they are now the IWGP Tag Team Champions, bringing back the championship to the Bullet Club since Gallows and Anderson left.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Another member they got is I don't know if you heard of him, but he's a former Ring of Honor World Champion. He's one of the biggest top main eventers in Ring of Honor right now, Adam Cole.
Adam Cole isn't the name sounds familiar. Isn't that Matt Hardy's protege? Oh no, that's Caprice Cole. My bad.
Yeah, but I believe he did used to be in the stable with Matt Hardy. Back when Matt Hardy was in TNA. I mean Ring of Honor as a heel.
He was in a stable with Matt Hardy? Well, what was the stable?
It was either Scum or The Decade. I can't remember.
Oh, Scum. I remember that.
Yeah. Scum.
He was
a pretty good stable for a while, and then it just faded away.
He was with Rhino and
Rhino, Matt Hardy, Kevin Steen.
I remember it's funny. I remember you showed me this maybe it was you. Somebody told me about this picture that Matt Hardy had joined Scum, right? And there was a picture of him with Rhino, who was wearing the shirt, and it was covering the S, so all you would see was CUM out of Scum.
Oh yeah, that was
me. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Good time. But yeah, so while you're doing that, I'm just gonna explain more that happened at the War of the Worlds tour. So here's how it played out, because I actually bought Global Wars and watched it, because that's what I do every year, because that's one of the only Ring of Honor pay-per-views I'll actually get my money out to like buy, because I like the crossover between New Japan and Ring of Honor. I'll also get New Japan World in because New Japan now has a deal with Ring of Honor where their wrestlers come to Japan and have a crossover pay-per-view called Honor Rising. So it's the same thing, only the Ring of Honor wrestlers are in Japan, so they're in larger venues. So, you get to hear like the whole energy of the crowd and whatnot over there. Anyway, I bought this pay-per-view. The main event was Jay Lethal for Global Wars because they had two specials. They had Global Wars and then War of the Worlds. But for Global Wars, which was the first pay-per-view, they had Jay Lethal versus Colt Cabana for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And Jay Lethal and Colt Cabana like showing the crowd that even though he's a comedy wrestler, that he can switch up his gimmick if he wanted to. So him and Lethal are having this like phenomenal match. Remember how I showed you how Taylor Hendricks is with Jay Lethal? She's like his valet manager.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So about 10 to 15 minutes into the match, I say 8 minutes, she got banned from ringside. And she gets kicked out. She comes back near the end of the match, getting chased around by the Young Bucks for some reason. And the Young Bucks completely forget about her, go into the ring, and then they pull out two Bullet Club shirts, like they're about to introduce Jay Lethal and Colt Cabana into the Bullet Club.
Okay.
Because they announced on Twitter that there's going to be two new Bullet Club members, but they didn't say who. So Jay Lethal and Colt Cabana are staring at them in confusion, and then the lights turn off, and then the lights turn back on, and it's Adam Cole standing in the ring with them wearing a Bullet Club shirt. And then they triple super kick Colt Cabana and Jay Lethal at the same time.
What? So like 6 super kicks going on at once, or
this is what confused me. Okay, throughout the entire night, they kept Mr. Wrestling, who's Steve Corino, wearing a mask for some reason, for storyline purposes, said that we got this new state of the art. We got this new state of the art super kick counter, which is like, all right. So the Krillin own counter on Team 4-Star, where every time he gets owned, he goes up. It looks basically the same, but every time a Young Bucks member hits a super kick, the meter goes up.
Okay.
Throughout their entire match at Global Wars, they didn't use one super kick in the match, so it stayed at 0.
Hey.
Okay. So yeah, proven to the smart IWCs, to the smarts to the IWC, that they can do a match without doing a super kick.
That's good. That means they have variety.
And here's what they were saving it for, though.
What?
Once Adam Cole debuted, that super kick counter went up to almost 50.
What?
They did about almost 50 super kicks in a span of 5 minutes.
Like, just I thought it was just for the Young Bucks.
After Adam Cole came, they didn't care anymore. They just started giving it every time somebody threw a super kick.
That's funny.
Super kick. And this is the first time I seen like wrestlers like just demolish everybody in the arena. They were super kicking cameramen, they were super kicking commentators, super kicking refs. Guardians of Destiny came out. They threw one of the cameramen through a table. Like, it was just like mayhem. Like, the crowd went nuts. And the funny thing is, right after the show ended, everybody was buying Bullet Club shirts.
That's funny. So,
like,
okay.
What were you gonna say?
No. I was just gonna say it. I thought you were kind of finished with this one topic.
Oh,
Sorry.
But yeah, that's pretty much the end of that topic. Oh yeah, they also got another member named Adam Page, but they're just using him as like the not even the Roman Reigns. He's the green young boy of the stable that they're gonna try to build into a main eventer for the future. That's about it for what's going on in the indie world. It was a Global Wars tour.
So like Dana Brooke to Emma.
In a way, yeah. Let's go with that.
Okay.
So that's the end of the World's tour. What's going on in the indie world? Yeah,
okay.
It felt good.
Oh wait. What about Damien Sandow? Because you've mentioned this on our chat that we've had like a lot of Damien Sandow signings. So go ahead, bring that up. This man's good right now.
I was just talking about Ring of Honor for some reason. Like that's the only indie promotion, right? No. All right. So as we all know, Damien Sandow was released from the WWE. What was it? A week ago? 2 weeks ago?
Somewhere around that.
Yeah. It has been blowing up in the indie world. Every indie promoter trying to get their signing with Damien Sandow because they know once that 90 day what is it? It's a 90-day period, yeah, where they can't work with any wrestling promotion that's on TV. So once that gets out of the way, we may see him in Ring of Honor, we may see him in TNA, we might see him in New Japan. But
wait, if so for televised events, so wouldn't that mean he could at least what's it called? He could at least compete at live events? No?
Yeah, he can.
Okay. That's good.
So it's been almost 2 weeks, so it's not even 90 days anymore. But once that period goes out, we'll see where his career actually goes, because when Drew Galloway was on the 90-day period, he was getting signed by every wrestling promotion that wanted him, and then after that he got signed by TNA and got pushed, and now he's the current TNA World Champion. So with Sandow, we know Sandow he's been so underused in the WWE based off of what he can do. Now that he has control of his gimmick, where do you think he's going to show up later on down the road?
Okay, well, I know we've talked about this. We've mentioned him we've mentioned, I believe, Ring of Honor. We've mentioned Lucha Underground. We've mentioned TNA. Okay, so those are the three big ones. I don't see him like becoming a hardcore legend at CZW. I just don't see it. The guy's not hardcore. let's put that.
He just starts doing death matches all of a sudden.
Yeah, piranha. Yeah, swimming in piranhas or whatever stipulation.
Somebody with a chainsaw, like while they're bleeding out, he's like, "You're welcome."
He started. That sounds like what a hardcore Damien Sandow could do. I don't see him being a high flyer in Lucha Underground. So what he would do there, it's beyond me, honestly.
Well, the thing is, we never really seen what Damien Sandow could actually do until he left. I mean, no, we never seen his full potential in the WWE ever, because he was always underpushed because they didn't know what they wanted to do with him. The same was with Drew Galloway. When he was Drew McIntyre, the only time we really got to see him was when he had the Chosen One gimmick, which wasn't even for that long on SmackDown. Now that he's like a big indie star, we see him doing suicide dives, flips over the ropes, like doing high flyer stuff. We've never seen him do high flyer stuff in the WWE.
Interesting.
So imagine what Sandow, with all the creative control he has for his character now, we don't know what he's going to do now.
That's true.
But I'm telling you now, we're going to see what he can actually do because with all this random
well, hey, you never know. Remember, you never know. He could be pulling that chainsaw at CZW, like you said, and screaming out, "You're welcome!" You never know.
I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm telling you, we will see, because next month he will be at one of Global Force Wrestling's bigger events. He's gonna be going against Colt Cabana.
Okay.
But knowing Sandow and Colt Cabana, this is going to be a comedy match.
Yeah. I've seen Colt Cabana wrestle. He's definitely a comedy wrestler.
Mm-hmm. When he wants to be, because he wasn't doing no comedy in that match against Jay Lethal.
Really?
Yeah. So showing that he can be serious if he wanted to.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So he's not one-dimensional. That's good. Okay. So let's go on to total nonstop topics.